So today our topic will be leading with clarity and detachment. This is what we are going to be working on. And the question to all of you is, what is clarity in leadership? What do you understand by that? What is clarity in leadership? What do you understand by that?
A leader should
Leader
know
should
what
know
he
what
wants
he
to
wants to
do
do
in the
in the
organization
organization
and
and
thereby lead his
lead his
team.
team.
There should be
There
a
should be
clarity of
clarity of
thoughts, words,
thoughts,
and
words, and
action.
action.
Very good, very nice. Anyone else that would like to add to what Ashwini Mataji just told?
Mataji,
The
clarity is
clarity is
about the goals of the organization.
vision.
What is
What
our
is our
dharma? What are our expectations
visions
from
from
our team members and stuff like
stuff
that.
like that.
Right, right. So we will again have to think from a Bhagavad Gita perspective. What Krishna tries to tell us is very important to know clarity as who am I, right? Yeah. So we are not this like this body, and we should not get entangled in the bodily thoughts and accordingly take our decision. Yeah. So let us go to the next slide. So clarity is seeing reality as it is without illusion, right? So illusion could be that I am X, you know, I am the CEO of this organization, or I am the head of the department. So whatever I say should happen, that I-ness that we normally carry with all of us, right? So we should not be blinded with our I-ness, and that I-ness is our illusion or maya, right? What I say because of my position, normally all of us, even as a parent, because I as a mother have told that, so you have to listen to me, or because I am the father or I am the husband, I have told that, so you have to listen to me. All of us in our real life carry that positional thing with us, right? And that is again a root cause of fights, or root cause of the decisions we take, wrong decisions that we take. So the clarity is seeing in reality what it is, because if we are blinded by what am I, my decisions may not be right. So we should be, whenever clarity is, we have to have seeing reality without illusion, without Maya. And in Gita, Maya is described as Moha. Moha is delusion, and Avidya, ignorance. Avidya is that who am I, right? So once we put ourselves in that position, that who am I and what is my position, and at that position what I should do, then it becomes, we have clarity. Now think from an Arjun's perspective. Did Arjun have clarity in the beginning? Did Arjun had
No,
clarity? Huh?
no, no.
Why he didn't have clarity?
Because
Because
he was
he was
delusional
delusional
about his
about his
stand on
stand on
waging the
waging
war,
the war,
like whether
like
it will
whether it will
affect the
affect the
family.
family.
His,
His,
I mean, he
I
was
mean, he
not
was not
clear about
clear
his
about his
dharma as a
dharma as a
Kshatriya.
Kshatriya.
What more?
What would his actions
Actions
have
have
on family bearings, on, I mean, killing
killing
his
his
teachers,
teachers,
relatives?
relatives.
Um,
Um,
what would be
what
the
will be the
consequences of
consequences
his
of his
actions?
actions?
Right? So if you really see Arjun's situation, he was thinking that everything is being done by him. It is I. I am going to kill, right? Do you all agree with me? In the
So
beginning,
he was identifying with the body, not with the soul.
right, and because of that, what was happening? He was thinking he is going to kill everyone. He will be the cause of the. It is I-ness. It is I, Arjun, who is going to be in the battlefield killing everyone. Right? Right? So that was his moha, that was his delusion. And what did Krishna do in the 11th chapter? Krishna actually showed Arjun that he has already killed everyone who is standing in that battlefield. In the universal form, that is the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna actually showed Arjun that whoever is standing in front of him are already killed by him in advance. And he says to Arjun that, Sabyasachi, oh Arjun, he addresses Arjun as Sabyasachi. You are nothing but just an instrument in making this happen. And I want, because you are my devotee, I want this Shreya, this recognition to be given to you. Actually, you are not the one who is doing it. This job has already been done. In the universal form, when Krishna comes in the 11th chapter, when he's explaining to Arjun, he actually shows that everyone is entering his mouth. All Bhishma, Pitama, Karan, everyone is already dead. It is just that Arjun was the instrument, and all of us are actually delusion. We think I am doing it. We think I am doing it. So when we have that realization that we are nothing but an instrument in the hand of Krishna, right? Yeah. If we can have that self-realization, then we are beyond ignorance and delusion, right? So think again back to first chapter of Gita. Arjun's clarity, he is why is all attachment, everything is he is going to kill I and I. So if similarly a leader, if he thinks I am the CIO, I am the head of the department, I have to, till he is putting everything with his bodily relation, he will not be able to take a decision which is very, very difficult decision, because it is all linked to his, if I fail, what will happen? So my decision will be such that I win, right? All of us do it. But when you have a realization that, okay, this is dharma and I need to do it, and maybe that will also impact me, then you are beyond your I-ness and position. Are you getting me? So as a leader, he has to have a clarity about what is clarity in seeing reality. It is more, we'll have to go beyond body and go into the higher self. And that is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us, because once we have that, then only will be able to break the cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, our decisions will be based on bodily thing, based on what I am, based on what mine, and till we are in that entanglement, we will be stuck, and we will be changing this body, from this body to another body, from one body to another body. Today I'm Sushmita, tomorrow I'll be born as someone else based on my karma, and after that I will never be able to leave this cage in which I am bound. है ना? You're getting me? Are you with me? Any questions? So here, when you're talking about clarity in leadership, it is not at a material plane. It is much beyond that. And we can always equate it to Arjun's situation to have a clear understanding about clarity in leadership. Yeah? Arjun is nothing, no one but all of us. Bhagavad Gita has been spoken by Krishna for all of us. He made Arjun the instrument through which he can give us the knowledge of how we can come out of this cycle of birth and death. Understanding? Yeah. So that is clarity. It means come out of moha and illusion. So a leader with clarity sees truth over convenience, acts based on dharma, not emotions, is not clouded with ego, attachment, or fear. Arjun was clouded with ego, attachment, or fear. In the beginning, it is I. He was all emotional, and although he was seeing truth, and that is why he thought all truth is because of, I am going to do everything, right? Right? So, case study of lost clarity. Arjun knew his duty, but he lost clarity due to emotional attachment with family members, enjoyment to whom, harmful effect of destroying. So it was all avidya, ignorance about who he really is. Any more comments about Arjun that you would like to make? Any one of you? Deepti Mataji?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Bharat.
Krishna, Bharat.
Hare Krishna. Bharat.
Mataji,
Mataji,
I'm
I'm
listening to
listening
you.
to you.
Yeah. So basically Bhagavad Gita makes us realize and that we have to actually we are living Bhagavad Gita when we start seeing that no, we are, our decisions, our behavior, it is all, many times we are stuck with lot of what do you call it, problems in our life, and then we think it's because of me, it's because of him, because of her. It is all our karma. Just let it be. Have the courage by holding to Krishna and strengthen yourself by chanting. The more you chant, we build our broken relationship with Krishna. We make it stronger. And then we should be thinking that's good because these all problems are coming because my bad karmas are going. Never blame anyone else for the problem that you are facing in your life. It is we who are responsible for the bad situations that we are in our life. It is we who are responsible for whatever good situation in our life because it is just our karma coming back to us. And then the question is, how can I come out of it? How you can come out of it when you can be in a mode of akarma. And akarma doesn't mean that you are not going to do your work. No, you have to do your duty, all duties that you have with a 360-degree angle, but give everything back to Krishna and live your life honestly, thanking Krishna. When you are more close to Krishna, then what happens? What does Krishna do? We have to always remember the example of a kitten, of a cat and a kitten. A cat, when he is carrying a mouse, when the cat is carrying a mouse also, it carries between the teeth. Yeah, the way the cat is holding the mouse, and when the cat is carrying a kitten, it is the same mouth the cat is using, but very softly will be carrying, right? So we have to remember when we are a devotee of Krishna, Krishna will take care of us. And Krishna says to Arjun, "Oh Arjun, go and declare." What you go and declare? That my devotee will never perish. Have that faith in Krishna. Live your life without blaming others, without saying because of you, because of me, and fighting and creating more karmas. Yeah? Live peacefully with this, right? Now we go back to the pillars of clarity. That is the 5 pillars of clarity in leadership. Yeah? What are the 5 pillars of clarity in leadership? Let's look at the first clarity. First pillar is clarity on identity. Who am I? As soon as we are out of class, we forget who am I. We become back to our normal self, right? we become back to our normal self. And that is normal for everyone. Because to remember always who am I, it is all that we have to remember Krishna always. We have to remember that this life that we are in this material world is nothing but a glorified jail. Just like a prisoner is in a jail and is limited by the boundary of the jail, similarly we, the soul, wearing a body because we wanted to enjoy, we are actually in this jail of material world. And if we are in this jail of material world, we need to suffer, because Krishna has defined this material world as dukhalay ashashvatam. It is dukhalay. What is vidyalay? Vidya is knowledge, and alay is home, knowledge of school. School is vidyalay. Alay is a place where you gain that, vidyalay. Similarly, this Krishna explains in the 8th chapter that this material world is nothing but dukh alay. It is an alay of dukh. Right? So what happens? We all run for our pleasure. Today we have achieved this one. We will get one more car. I'm going to have a pleasure. I will change this thing. I will get pleasure. Yes, all those pleasure will be ashashvatam. Ashashvat means eternal. Ashashvat means temporary. Does it mean that I should not strive for it? No. We have to live a life that we need to give to our family. All these things we need to do, because once we have come here, we need to live. Krishna says, but everything has to be in a limit, right? It has to be we have read that shlok where we say enjoyment is also necessary. Everything is necessary, but don't forget that who am I? I am not this body, I am the soul. Question yourself, are you giving food to the soul? What is food to the soul? It is your chanting, it is your meditation, it is your association, it is your scriptures reading, it is being with Krishna is the food for soul. Are you doing that? If you are doing that, then you are strengthening your soul. But the more you are spending time in material pleasure, you are actually preparing yourself for the next birth. Right? So what is the first pillar? Is clarity of identity. Who am I? And the shlok we all know. Let us chant together. This is the 2nd chapter, 13th shlok. This is when Arjuna has already surrendered to Krishna, and Krishna starts explaining to Arjuna. The first thing he says, Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Please repeat after me.
Dehino
Asmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yauvanam jara
Kaumaram yauvanam jara
Tatha dehantara praptir
Tatha dehantar praptir
Dhirastatra na muhyati.
Dhirastatra namuhyati.
So Krishna says Dehi. Dehi is what? Is a soul. Dehi no asmin. Asmin is this. Yatha dehe. Dehe is body. In this body, just like the Dehi, the soul is trapped. It is trapped, and it grows along with the body to Kumar. Kumar, we become young, we become prawn, then become Yavan, that is young, and Jara, old age, and Tatha Dehantara. And after that, when we have become old, what happens? Tatha Dehantar, it changes the body. Dehantar, it changes the body to Praptir. Dhiras Tatra Namuja, those who are wise, those who understand this, they never get bewildered, because they know that this soul is trapped in this body and will grow. Imagine when someone dies, the body doesn't grow. It doesn't go from Kumar to Yavan. Only till the soul is there, the body grows. Right? So, who am I? Always remember, we are not this body. This body is just a vehicle that I am using. Just like a car, just like we have a car, if the car is standing, no one can move it. Unless human sits inside the car and starts driving it. Yes, today we have got those remote cars like that can drive on its own. Yeah. But then finally you need something to drive it, right? It cannot drive on its own, isn't it? Similarly, so unless the driver is sitting, cannot drive. So the driver is basically the soul of that car who can drive. Similarly, all of us are nothing, but we all are trapped in this body, and that is our real identity. The soul is our real identity. So first thing, we should always remember the clarity. So if you to be a great leader, when you are not, you can really take the wisest decision. We have to always remember, who am I, right? So Krishna says, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person, a wise person, is not bewildered by such a change. It has to happen, right? Then Krishna also says, again he explains, who am I? I am not only soul. I am not only small. Many people say, Aham Brahmasmi, and then they stop there, right? That is just the beginning. That is just the beginning of absolute truth. So what is absolute truth? Absolute truth is basically the God. And the God can be seen in three forms. What are the three forms? It can be seen as Brahmasmi, it as Brahma, it can be seen as Paramatma, and it can be seen as Bhagwan. They are the three different levels of God. It all depends upon us at what level I am to see God as that. For example, so many people understand that I am soul, but a very common thing, they say Aham Brahmasmi, and they stop there. So the good part is that they have an understanding that they are soul, but they are actually seeing only the light, the effulgence of the God. For example, when the sun comes, before sun comes, you start seeing the light, right? Before sun comes, what happens? We start seeing the savera ho raha hai, light aa raha hai, and that is what is Aham Brahmasmi. Before you know Bhagwan, you only see the effulgence of Bhagwan, and that is what is the level of Aham Brahmasmi. God is only one. It all depends at what level we are and how, from what level we are seeing Him. For example, if you are traveling by train, or say you're traveling by plane, what happens? When you're seeing down from a plane, before it is landing, we are actually seeing some green thing far away, right? So we know, okay, there's something green. Then when we come close to the landing, we can see, when we come close to that green thing, we can clearly see that is nothing but a mountain, and it has got some trees or plants. But when we come very, very close to it, we can also see humans and some animals, doing that. So there are three. It is all depends upon our vision, how much we are able to see it, at what close we are at, isn't it? Similarly, many people have a realization that yes, we are soul, but then after realizing soul, they are actually stuck with Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi is nothing but the first level where you are able to see the effulgence of the God, right? And then when you start, now many people may stop there. Some people may still have an inquisitiveness to know, okay, what is this Brahmasmi? What is this Brahm? I want to go a bit near to it. I want to understand more about it. Then you go inside. When you travel more towards that, when you are more, doing your scriptural practices, and you are reading and you're actually trying to understand God more, then He actually opens up. And He says, you get to know that He is the Paramatma sitting in our heart. He is the super soul who is residing in each and every heart, right? That is the form of Paramatma. And when you really want to go, Krishna very clearly says that you cannot know me. It all depends upon how much inquisitive you are to know me. I will open myself accordingly to you. It is like when you are traveling in a mountain by a car, you can only see to a distance. Only when you come near to that distance, you are able to see the next level, right? How exactly the road is moving, isn't it? Similarly, Krishna only gives you if you are praying, I want to know you, he will open a door for you. And before opening a door for you, he will give you a lot of problems. Because he doesn't want to know that you should know. You have come to me with some purpose, I will solve your purpose, go away. Don't come to me. Right? So don't get deterred by that. Don't get deterred by that. You have to persistently say, I want to know you. I don't want this material pleasure. I don't want this. I want to know you. Then he will opens the door slowly, slowly, slowly. You will come to know about Aham Brahmasmi. You will come to know about Paramatma. And when you really reach him, you will see it is Krishna there. It is Krishna there, Bhagavan. And that is the shlok in Bhagavatam. He says the absolute truth exists in three forms as Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So that is the highest level when you can reach him. So here Krishna says, clarity of identity. Who am I? He says, in the 15th chapter he says, he doesn't say in the first, second chapter. When you read the 15th chapter, because you have to read everything to reach there. And he says, 15th chapter, he reveals himself. It's called Purushottam, this thing. He says, Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Mam ev ansho. Mam is mine. Ev is he. Ansh is part and parcel. Jivaloke, in this all Jivlok is all the 14 planets that we talk about. All the 14 planets we talk about is Jivlok. Jiv Bhuta is all the living entity. Not only human beings, plants, anyone which is living, a reptile, a bird, anything which is moving, all Jiv Bhuta, Sanatana is eternally. Eternally, everyone is nothing but a part and parcel of Mimam Mayavanshu. And then what did Krishna says? Mana Kashtani Indriyani. This mind, which is the sixth Indriya. Now we have 5 senses and the sixth sense is the mind. These 6 senses, Prakriti Sthani, what happens? They are so much bound in this material world, running after the pleasure of this material world, that they are karishyati, they are struggling. All of us are struggling. Our karishyati is struggling. We are struggling in this material world because of our mind, because our mind is running. We need this, we need that, They are not looking at me at all. They just want to satisfy their senses. And what those senses are? It is in the Prakriti. Prakriti is the material world. And what happens? So let us see the translation of this. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. Yeah. So the first clarity that we need to have is, who am I? When we know, so our decisions, what I will do next, or a decision of any leader as what that will do next, will depend upon the realization of the person. If the person has a realization that I am soul and I need to feed my body or my family, or I have to create an environment so that my family grows spiritually, right, and understand this one, and they understand they're part and parcel of Krishna, then my actions are going to be different. But once I don't have that knowledge, then my actions will be more on running towards the material pleasure. For example, all of you on a Saturday evening are sitting and listening to Gita because you are evolved. Compared to all those people who are partying somewhere in some club or enjoying some movie somewhere, for them that is their enjoyment, and actually what they are all in a mode of ignorance. Whereas you all have moved to the mode of goodness, where you are spending your time, valuable time, to do that, because you have to give to your family, to your neighborhood, this knowledge, so that you cannot grow alone. You have to grow with the society, right? So once we have this knowledge, who am I? Accordingly, my actions will change. Accordingly, my behaviors will change. Accordingly, I will start looking into what I am doing. Will it take me towards Krishna, or will it take me away from Krishna? isn't it? So first clarity, to have a clarity in leadership, the first thing we have to know, what's the first pillar? To know who am I. And when I know who am I, my behaviors, my actions will accordingly change. Right? Hmm. So question is, why clarity of identity is important? This question is to all of you. Why clarity of, I have already answered many things, but I would still like to hear from you why clarity of identity is important. Yes, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Why clarity of identity is important? Why do you need to know that who you are? You are not this body, you are the soul. Why it is important to know this?
To
To
escape
escape
birth and
birth
death
and
and
death
to
and to
time
time
on this
on this
earth.
earth.
Yes, yes. Anyone else? Good. Imangi, very nice. Mataji. Anshu? Anshu, are you there?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
So why do you think clarity of identity at who you are is important?
When we
When we
know
know who,
who am
who
I,
am I,
then
then
in
in
every
every
action,
action, in every
this, in
in
any
any
karma,
karma,
I am
I am
conscious
conscious
how to
how to
perform, how
perform,
to
how to
decide.
decide that.
So
Very
it will
It
be
right.
will be
easy.
easy.
Very right. Once we are aware, then our behaviors, our actions will also be accordingly. Somewhere we will have that. Akshay? Akshay Prabhu? Are you there? Akshay Prabhu, are you there? Devakran Prabhu?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Father.
Yes. Why do you think clarity of identity is important?
Uh, when we are aware of who we are, we'll slowly move to the mode of akarma that will help us to escape from the cycle of birth and death.
Yeah.
And we will
So
identify
the
that we are not the reason for whatever is happening, and Krishna is the ultimate reason for this.
Very nice. Ratna Mataji? Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
actually,
actually,
we should know
should
the
not.
identity because we have to take some important decisions, and those decisions should
Decision
not
should
be
not be
in
in
illusions or
illusion
in
or in
detachment.
detachment.
So
So
that is why
that is
we
why
should
we
know
should know
about our
about
identity.
identity.
Yes. Because our actions and our behavior will be different. If we know that I am the soul and I'm a part and parcel of Krishna, than if I don't know and I'm living just like any other person, right? Yeah, so we move to the next thing. Without this clarity, leaders can become ego driven, right? And then decisions can become image driven. What will happen if, if I take this, like Arjun, if I take this decision, so many people are going to die, what will happen? But when I know, then I know I have to fight for dharma, right? It won't be image driven, that I'm doing right and wrong. It is at a much higher level, higher plane. With this clarity, decisions becomes purpose driven. And then there's the story of Hanuman. Can anyone tell the story of Hanuman which is related to clarity of identity? Anyone knows? I'm sure you all know, but the thing is, Rita Balaji, your hand is up. Do you would like to say the story?
Actually,
Actually,
this
this
question.
Okay, so let us look at the story of Hanumanji. We all know Hanumanji is such a powerful deity, right? So what happened when he was sent? When now when he had to cross the river, the ocean, all the Vanar Sena, they were actually standing in front of the ocean. Yeah, and no one knew how to cross because they had to cross the ocean to go to Lanka in search of Sita. Right at that point of time, he had not gone to Lanka, so everyone is wondering. Such a big obstacle and how to cross this obstacle. And at that point of time, what happened? Jambavan, what he did? He reminded Hanumanji of his strength. He reminded Hanumanji of his strength, that he has the capability to fly. So do you all know that story? Hanumanji, when he was small, he was actually very, very mischievous. He was an extremely mischievous child. And what he did once, when he was actually flying high, he went and ate sun. He thought sun is orange, and he went and he gulped sun. And when he gulped sun, it was all darkness everywhere. And then, like everyone got worried, and then he was forced to take out the sun, and one of the sage actually cursed him. And the curse became a blessing for him. He was cursed that he will forget about his strength, and he'll forget about his strength till someone reminds him about his strength. He was so powerful. So that forgetting about his strength became a power for him, because otherwise he may have grown up with ego. And then Jambavant actually reminded him that crossing ocean is very, very easy for Hanumanji. And finally he crossed the ocean and went in search of Sitaji in Lanka, right? So when you know the right identity, when it becomes important. So we go to the second pillar of clarity. Clarity of leadership, which is clarity of duty. Now here duty is, what is my dharma? What is my dharma? That is what it is. So let us see what Krishna says about that in Bhagavad Gita. We all know this shlok. What is the shlok? Read after me. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Pardharma Swanushthitat
Anushtika
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha
Nidhanam Shreya
Pardharmo Bhayavaha. Anyone would like to explain the meaning of this shlok? I think we have been reading this shlok since the beginning of the semester. Anyone? Yes, Meral Mataji?
As per the slope, we have to follow our dharma, our duty, not to copy the other ones. It's like we have as a student, we have to study not to follow the teachers that he studied like that, or some example like batsman. The batsman is doing only batting good. If we try to bowling as a best bowler, then he also felt on that role. So we have to perform our duty perfectly, not to copy the other one. If our work is improper, if I'm doing the batting batsman, and he practices it, sometimes it's not imperfect, there are some problems, but he never to leave her to batting practice, but doing that one on.
Good, good. Anyone else would like to add anything? Okay, I will now here very important word is swadharma. Swadharma is what is my dharma, and what we talked about swadharma is everyone has their own strength, inner strength, right? And based on Krishna says that based on the karma and gun we are divided, because of based on the it is based on the gun that we are actually put into who we are, right? So whatever is your strength, right? For example, if like Arjun was Kshatriya and Arjun wanted to go to forest and start doing prayers, right? Because he's a Kshatriya, he will start fighting, because that is his natural behavior, that is his natural strength, right? So it is Shreya, and Shreya is always better. What is always better? Swadharmo, to do your dharma. We good, we matlab, even if it is without it's with some fault, par dharmat swanishtita, but than doing other work perfectly. Swadharma nidhanam shreya. Nidhanam is death. It is better to die doing your own work than doing someone else perfectly. That is the meaning of clarity. So clarity of duty. Whatever is your strength, inner strength, and that is based on that you need to take the decision and action. Yeah, it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duty, even though faultily, than another duty perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in other duties. Than to follow other path is dangerous, right? So, here from a leadership perspective, act according to your role and responsibility. So, whatever role and responsibility have been given to you, like when Ram came to this earth, he is a Kshatriya, and it is his roles and responsibilities basically to see the to uphold dharma, right? So according to work according to your role and responsibility, right? And we saw that in the Rama's case, the story we have already talked about. What happened? Ram was to be crowned as the king a day after, right? And that night Kaikeyi actually fought and asked Dashrath for the two boons, and instead of becoming the king next day, Ram was had to leave for exile, right? But why did he accept his exile? It was to uphold his dharma, to do his duty as a son, and to uphold the dharma, the promise that his father had given to Kaikeyi has to be held high, है ना? And that is why there's a famous saying, रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. Right? We all know this shlok, this saying, Raghukul Riti Sada Chali Aayi, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. And that is why Ram, to uphold dharma, he happily went to exile and kept the promise that his father had given to his mother than asking for. So when you have a clarity of duty, it removes confusion even in the painful situation, right? For example, for Arjun, he had to kill his whole family. The other side, everyone had to be killed. It was so painful. It could have been so painful. But then to uphold dharma, isn't it? Similarly, a leader actually, when the more you grow in the organizational ladder, you have to take very, very tough decisions. Especially now, when you all are seeing there are so many, what do you call it? People are removed, are asked to leave the organization. India is still safe, or India is I mean, I can see the impact happening now in India, but imagine in other countries where job is moving to India and to other countries where people are just asked to leave. So imagine the leaders who are taking that decision to actually remove so many people or ask people to leave, how difficult it is for them also. Because they themselves are human beings, they themselves are family. It is not an easy decision. Yeah, but then to uphold dharma, it is not just you are given a pink slip, tomorrow don't come, but then you are actually taken care of. You are giving some severance package or something. Yeah, Ratnamanaji, you have something to say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I
Actually,
just
I
wanted
just
to tell
wanted
you
to
one
tell you one
example.
example. Yes, please.
My
My
cousin was
cousin was
working in
working in
Citibank,
Citibank, mm-hmm,
and he
and
had
he
a
had
very
a very
favorite
favorite
friend,
friend,
family
family
friend.
friend.
Sorry,
So
Mataji,
he,
there is
Mataji, there is
some echo to the
to the
conversation.
conversation. Hold on, let me mute myself, then we can hear her properly. Let me mute. Yeah.
yeah. So one day he was called by boss for some interview or something. So he was telling me the story that when I was called, they told me that you are going to select few and you are going to reject few. And unlikely, the particular person who was his friend, he was called inside. And it was my cousin's duty to tell him that you are no more required in the bank. And that day he could not, he was really surprised कि ये काम मेरे से ही कराना था क्या. मेरा फ्रेंड ये सोच रहा था कि अंदर they are calling me inside, तो मेरा फ्रेंड अंदर बैठा है, he will certainly promote me. So it is really a very tough decision for him, and he was telling me that way. So I just recalled that incident.
True, Mataji. Actually, it's very, very difficult in crisis. Many times organizations are in crisis. So, as a human being, if all of us, what is actually our culture? What is Sanatana Dharma? We don't really need much. If we can live, that's why it's important to understand. If we don't get into this flashy material world and live in a simple life, simple living and high thinking, you don't need much. We can, and that is what we need to teach our kids. We don't run after this. There's no end to it. Do we really need it? Before you spend even a penny, think, do you really need it? Because the way you will lead your life, similarly, the child will also learn. We cannot avoid peer pressure. So very important that if we to live a simple and beautiful life, and then what happens, it should be more with what do you call it, scriptures. When you have shared this and you have grown your kids with this knowledge, it is very easy for them to face any challenges in your life. It is so unfortunate that in India we don't have schools where we can teach our kids our scriptures. It is really very unfortunate, because when you are grown up with that stories and knowledge, you are not really tempted and attracted to those material things, and you can live a simple and beautiful life and not get challenged, because दाल रोटी खाने के लिए सबके पास पैसे होते हैं. We don't have to really run for those flashy life, which we are doing today. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what it is, that clarity of duty, it is very, very tough. And a simple life, a life protected by our scriptures, with our dharma, is always a life when it teaches us to face any challenge in our life, because then we know that this is what we are going through, and it is temporary, and this is not what we are finding. Yeah. So that is for something which we need to, that is the clarity of our dharma is important. Then we go to the third pillar, which is clarity of action. Yeah. What is the right action? Dharma, knowing the duty, after knowing the duty, performing that action. Even though I know that is right, but many times I don't do it. Aishwarya Mataji, right? So many times we know that this is dharma, but still we don't take it, because trending that path of dharma is very, very difficult. Trending that, walking in that path of dharma is very, very difficult. कोई बात नहीं, आज पार्टी में बैठे एक बार, nothing that happens if I just smoke sometimes or I drink sometimes. No, it's okay. No. So trending that, when everyone is around you is doing wrong, and standing and doing right and walking in the right path is very difficult. So clarity of action, what is right action and how do we take that action, right? So that is again should be very clear to have a right decision. So let us read this slok together. This is the 30th slok of 18th chapter. It says, Pravittim cha nivrittim cha
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च
कार्य कार्ये भयाभये
कार्यकार्ये भयाभये
बन्धं मोक्षं च यावेति
बन्धं मोक्षं च यावेति
बुद्धि सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Buddhi
So here Krishna is telling to Parth. Parth is Arjun. What is buddhi? What is intelligent? And what is sattvic? Sattvic is intelligence in the mode of goodness. What is intelligence in the mode of goodness? Where pravittam cha nivrittim cha karya akarya bhaya bhaya. It means knowing what is to be done, what is not to be done, what karya, what should be performed, what should not be done, what should be feared, bhay abhay, what should be feared and what should not be feared. When someone is clear, then bandham moksham chaveti, what will actually make me bound and what will actually liberate me. Mokshas liberate. The veti is to know, and that is actually the intelligence in the mode of goodness. When we read the chariot model, if you remember what it is, how to control the mind. To control the mind, we have to strengthen our intelligence. And the stronger our intelligence is, the mind will be more controlled. And how to strengthen our intelligence? We also read that. And our intelligence can only be controlled when we spend our time, when we read our scriptures, because these knowledges are there. When you're talking about it through stories, we have 18 Purans. Our Puran is full of stories of goodness. Puran is nothing but stories. Yeah, and when we read that, when we tell this to our family, when we read together in an environment and talking about it, what will happen? Then we know what is, we are actually strengthening our intelligence. It is not just by the education that we are giving to our child today, that memorize this and pass, get 100%. That is not going to help you in facing the real challenges of the world. That is not going to help you. You may become first. You may become a great, what do you call it? As I explained about the various, pyramidal model in our organization. We have PQ, which is the lowermost. Then we have IQ. Then we have EQ. Then we have SQ. SQ is spiritual quotient. Spiritual quotient is the highest quotient. The person with the highest spiritual quotient will be the best leader. Because when that leader who is the highest spiritual quotient will not do anything what is this for me, will be a selfless leader, and that selfless leader will have that realization and will be always able to take a right decisions. So we have to develop you have to develop in our child, in our family, in our relatives, in our society. We have to help them understand our scriptures, our stories. That has to be the most important thing. If you really want that our next generation, we are prepared to handle the real life challenges. The real life challenges will not be met by the education system we have today, where it is not going to be held. You can have a high IQ, you can do an excellent work in Olympiads. It is not going to help you. And that is why it's very, very, I'm really happy that Modi has now introduced IKS. He has started now IKS. I think I saw the NEP Education Policy 2020. From 2025, it becomes compulsory. Imagine, we have now run away from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the mother of all language. If you don't know Sanskrit, you will not be able to read your Vedas. You will not be able to read your this thing, which is a must. Right? So it is important that we teach, we actually have that realization and help our friend circle to talk about this in your friend circle so that people grow. Understand. Otherwise, we are going to create a generation which will be only materialistic, and when they fail, they don't know how to come out of it. They will not be resilient to face the challenges. But if you want to really, we read books of Western, leaders. What do they know? Read your own scriptures. The knowledge that we have in that it can help us to, you read the Jaishankar's, our foreign minister's books. Our scriptures have all those knowledge. We have so much knowledge through our scriptures. And it's so nice, if you all can get the kids together, arrange for some story sessions, because story is the way to get people together and make things entertaining and nice. Please do that if you can. It's my request. Yeah. So clarity of right action is what? O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what not ought to be done. What is to be feared and what is not to be feared. What is binding and what is liberating is in the mode of goodness, right? Now, clarity of action. What is the right action now? Choose what is right. It is not very easy, comfortable, or popular. Normally, it will not be. It will not be easy to send the kids in a scriptural class. It will not be fancy. Yeah, but sending them for some, it will not be fancy to send them for a yoga class or maybe to a meditation class. It will be fancy to send them for some tennis class or some. Not that playing it's good, but think, bring them up. Now, I'll tell you the story of Krishna as a peace messenger, clarity of action. So, what happened? When finally it was decided that Kurukshetra Yudh is going to happen, yeah, but Krishna thought, let me give the last try. Let me give the last try. What he did, he became the peace messenger. He went to Dhritarashtra and everyone requesting that we should not have this war. It is going to destroy everything. Let us avoid this war. Why don't you only give 5 villages to Pandavas? And what Duryodhan replied? I will not even give land equivalent to the सुई का नोक के बराबर भी कुछ नहीं दूंगा. And then Krishna knew that there is no point negotiating any further. It is time for what it is time? The right action at this point of time to establish dharma is war. And he declared war. So, clarity of action, it's very, very important for leaders. When the business is not doing well, when the business is not doing well, and there's no vision by the leaders on how to bring back or bring growth, what do? They actually remove employees. If they don't do, how much you can bleed? They also have a problem, as you know. So what they do, they remove, right? And it does, and we have to make ourselves strong and capable that it's okay. There's something else for me. We should not get, if something like this happen, we should see the way forward and look for the light and start doing something else, right? So clarity of action is choosing the right action based on reality. That is important. We cannot hide away from reality. If this is the reality, what actions we should take, what action we should do is what we should plan. We should have very, very open discussions with the family, and explain and help, right? So clarity of action is in choosing the right actions should be based on reality, just like Krishna did as a peace messenger. Then clarity through detachment. Clarity through detachment. Let us recite the shloka. We all know this shlok. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur
Ma
ma te sangostava karmani.
Mate Sangostava
So all of us know this stroke very well. We have the right to perform our duty, but not have any right on the fruits. And what happens? Even never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of the activity, and never stop. Not also don't do sangosta karma. Never be attached to not doing your duty. So whatever is duty, we all need to perform. So you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activity, and never be attached to not doing your duty, right? Another shlok. This was the 47th shlok of the second chapter. Immediately after this shlok, this is the next shlok that Krishna talks about. I have not captured that shlok. No, okay. That is basically, let me see if I have the shlok here. Okay, so that shlok is basically the 2.48 shlok, and that shlok talks about that yogastha kuru karmani. It says that whatever you are doing, do that in the mode of yoga. Yoga means by connected to Krishna, and then do not worry about success or failure. Do your duty, right? That is what is the next shlok that is should have been also read there for clarity to detachment, right? So, what does Krishna says? Focus on duty, not on results. Without detachment, if without detachment, there'll be a fear of failure. What will happen if this happens? I think these are very normal things that all of us goes through, right? That what will happen if I fail? And that causes all the blood pressure, all the diseases, right? And it can paralyze. Or we do it with the desire to praise. But then when you are doing an activity because it should be done in the right order without expectation, you are not bothered about the outcomes. Even if no one praises, but you have done your duty, be honest to yourself. Then that is itself what will happen. Then you will always be calm, you will be decisive, and you will always be mentally satisfied. It doesn't matter whether someone praises, someone doesn't praise. No, you have done your duty. Who knows? You know, and Krishna knows, because he is the highest manager. He is the highest leader. Don't work for others, work for him. Do the work for him. When you are working for him, then what you're doing, you're being the most honest to yourself. You're being most honest to yourself. And when you're most honest to yourself, even if people are, you are in an organization or situation where you are, praises, or is not or not, doesn't matter. Always remember there's someone above who is watching me. And that person, don't look for reward from him. That knowing he is looking after me is more than enough. Yeah, and do your duty. Yeah, because he sees everything. And there's no leader bigger than him. There cannot be any leader bigger than him. So have that relation with him. Krishna says in the 10th chapter, which is called Chaturshloki Gita, 10.8, 9, 10, 11. You read on yourself when you get time. That is called Chaturshloki Gita. Krishna says that I take care. You don't have to worry. Yeah. So do that. Be in that level. And for that being level, it is not that when you are in need, you go to him. No. You have to have a disciplined life. And in that disciplined time, you have to have your time, 1-2 hours dedicated to him, for him, to strengthen your relation with him. And when you have that relation strengthened with him, don't worry, do your work. That's it. Do your all roles that you have. Look at yourself as a 360 person. Don't look at yourself as just you. You are a husband, you are a father, you are a teacher, you are a son, you are a what do you call it? You are a friend. We play so many roles. Yeah. So look at that. Then you'll be calm, decisive, and you'll be doing your activity very, very well. Right. So here, Raja Janak. We all know who was Maharaj Janak. Maharaj Janak was the father of Sita. He was the father-in-law of Ram. But still, he did his duty properly. He did his duty to teach everyone a lesson. How exactly to do. Even if you are realized, it doesn't mean that you will stop your duty. And Krishna says in the 4th chapter that even though if I don't work, then nothing will happen, nothing will move. But still, although I'm not attached to anything, but still I do my work so that everything is happening in the right order. Right? So this is what he says in the 4th chapter. Then we go to the next fifth pillar of our clarity. It is clarity through devotional service. That is the highest. Actually, Bhakti Yoga I did not teach you. I was mainly limited to the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But the 7th to 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga, and it is the jewel of Bhagavad Gita. It is said just like in a jewel box, you have a box which contains jewels, then you have a lid, so and then you have jewels inside. The fix for the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita is like the lower part of the box, and the last 6 chapter, 13 to 17 chapter of Bhagavad Gita is like the lid of the jewel box. The jewel inside is from 7th chapter to 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Bhakti Yoga. And why it is the jewel? Because this is the place where Krishna explains himself. He tells about who am I and how you can come to me. So this is the most important part of Bhagavad Gita. And in that, the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is the most important. And out of that 9th chapter, the last slok of 9th chapter, which is 9.34, is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is Manmana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Manamaskuru Mame Vesha Septetva. So that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is like, the most precious and precious and precious. You will hold it extremely internal to your locker, right? So that is the thing. So clarity through devotional service is what is the next thing where the leaders can be. And that is why in an organizational thing, now Western, when you talk about it, is slowly increasing. People talked about PQ, they talked about IQ, then 10, 12 years back, they started talking about EQ, emotional quotients. Now SQ is being talked about, because for them to understand SQ will still take time. But in India, it is inborn in us. If we are really in touch with our dharma, it is a part of us. We all know it. We know that we are, something we grow up with. Our parents, our grandparents, when we are linked with them, they just talk about it in our home, right? So we are so lucky. So let us say clarity through devotional service. What it is. Please read after me. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma
योगयुक्तो
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः
Vijitatma
Jitatma
Jitendriya
Jitendriya
सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा
Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma
Bhutatma
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते.
Kurvanapi
Kurvanapi na lipyate.
Yate
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma. Vishuddha is pure. Vishuddha is pure. Vishuddha atma, that atma, that soul which is pure. What happened? And it is yoga yukto. Yog means what is the meaning of yog? Yog is connection. Connection is the meaning of yog. Yog yukto, which is connected to God, connected to Krishna. Vijit atma, which has one. Jitendriya, which has one over the senses, which is also have a control over the Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurunampi Labhate. They'll do all the activities, but they will limpyate means they never get attached. So let us read the English translation. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Such a man is never entangled. So when someone has been in that situation, someone is in a stage of realization, just like Janak or just like, so what happens? They do all the activity. Although we see them just like normal human being, they are doing everything, but they will not get attached. They are just like the drop of water on the lotus leaf. They are just like the drop of water on the lotus leaf. Do you know? It never gets attached to the leaf. It is always moving. It cannot get attached to a leaf. They are like that. When you look externally to them, you will not see any difference in them than a normal human being. They'll be doing everything. But the difference is that they are fully connected to Krishna and they are pure soul. How we can become pure? We talk about chanting, hearing, reading, in the right association. All these things will make us pure. Eating, so the most important thing is what we eat. Eating is the most important thing which defines what we eat. That's what we become. It's a very common saying, right? If we are eating pure, my mind will become pure. So what we eat is the most important thing. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 3rd chapter, he says that if you are eating, if you are eating without offering to me, then you are eating sin. then you are eating sin. So whatever you eat, you offer to me, then you eat. And then he says, what you can offer to me? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. You cannot go and offer XYZ to me. I only eat patram pushpam phalam toyam. Toyam is water. You give me all patram, but offer that to me, and then you eat. So what will happen when you offer that? Then it becomes prasad. And I explained to you about the principle of karma. So even when you are making anything vegetarian, we are actually, a lot of microorganisms can get cut. Even plant itself is living, but when you offer, what happens? It becomes prasad. He accepts it. He takes all the things and he gives it back to us, and then we become a karma. We nothing of whatever we have done. It'll add to my bank balance of good or bad. It will become an karma. So he says, eat prasad, but always remember, whatever we eat, so we become. And prasad is a very, very important item for us for our purity. What we eat defines us, because why it is said that to understand our scriptures, why some people get involved and love to hear scripture, some people don't, because our the tissues, they need to be purified enough to be able to absorb it. When we eat pure, our tissues becomes, our membranes becomes pure, so we are able to accept it. Many people, with the name of God, they will run away because they have not got that much purity even to listen to the word. They have to really now, it is that. This is what our scriptures explain. So Vishuddhatma, those who are pure souls, and eating is one of the very, very important things. It defines what is going inside, and how exactly I will also grow and understand. So those who are yoga, one who works in devotion, who's pure soul and who controls his mind and senses, are dear to everyone. So that is something which is talks from the devotional service perspective. First thing is being purity and connected to Krishna. And then what happens next in the 5th chapter, Krishna explains how do such people see things. Please repeat after me. Nevam kinchit karomiti yukto manyate tatvita Pashyan, Shrinavan, Sprishan, Jinghan. Nan Guchan Swapanshwasan. So Krishna says, a person in the divine consciousness, when the person is in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, Pashya means to see. In Sanskrit, Pashya means to see. Shrinava means to hear. Sprisha means to touch. Jingha is to taste. Ashna is to eat. Gacha is to go. Swapna is to sleep. And Ashram is to breathe. So basically, a person in the divine consciousness, when the person has achieved that consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. He actually does nothing at all. So who is doing it is the next slok. Please repeat after me. Pralapan Vishajan Grihan.
Pralapan Srijan
Anunimishan Nimishanapi.
Anunimishani
Indriyani Indriyartheshu. Vartanta iti dharayan. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects, and that is aloof from them. So what happens? Those who are self-realized, those who are self-realized and they are always in the divine consciousness, they will look just like all of us. They are not going to look any different, but they know that whatever my body is doing, it is just the bodily is doing its activity. Yeah, but I am beyond it. And there's a very beautiful example that it comes as a coconut, coconut. If you have seen a green coconut, at the water that we drink, right? So what happens? Think about a coconut. It is a green coconut. Then there's a, that hujja hota hai. And then there's a brown coconut part. Then there's a white one, which is fully attached to the brown one, right? And there's a water inside, isn't it? This is how a green coconut or a ripe coconut looks like, right? But when you leave this coconut, what happens? When the water dries, the white part of the coconut actually leaves the brown part and becomes a full coconut, dried coconut, right? Right. So a self-realized person is like that of a dried coconut. When you move that, you can hear that, okay, this coconut is here. That coconut that is lying there, it knows that I exist, but it knows that just if it is attached, we all are like that yellow, the white part which is totally attached to the brown one. We are totally attached to you can compare that part, the green, and other part till the brown as a material world, and then the inside the soul, the body and the soul. The dried coconut is like the soul, which is separate than the rest of the part. But what happens? All of us are like the white part attached to the brown one. We are so much attached to the material world that we don't even realize. But those who are realized, the white part becomes, they are like dried coconut, which is gadi. And they see that they see who are like they know I'm not doing anything. It is all done by senses. I am just engaged in this body. I am engaged in this body. And I am the part and parcel of Krishna, and my job is to do all my activity because I have taken this birth in this material body. I have to do all my activity, but I should not get attached to any of this so that I can be removed later. I can come out of the cycle of birth and death. Understood? So this is what is the meaning of this one. So those who are those who are those who are self-realized, they know that everything is being done by just like, Krishna does to Arjuna. It's not that you are doing anything. I've already done everything. In the 11th chapter, he says, everyone is already killed. You are just an instrument to it. You realize it. See, I'm showing it to you. Right? So that realization, when it comes, I'm just an instrument in his hand. Not even a blade of glass can move without his permission. No point for me to try this, that. Okay, yeah, fine. This is what is coming. I will do what best I can in this situation. And not doing my work is not Krishna doesn't appreciate it. He says that is in the mode of ignorance. You have to do your duty, whatever you are. You have to do you don't run away. If he says, he talks, he gives a word. He says they are, what do you call it? They are Bhagwada कहते हैं उसको. He says they are
Absconder.
No, there's a very mithyachar. Krishna has used the word mithyachar for them. Those living in this world, they just try to say, I'm sannyasi, I'm not doing anything. No. He says they are mithyacharis. He used that word in the dual character, they are mithyacharis. They are actually not sannyasis. Sannyasi doesn't mean that you are running away from your family responsibility. No, you have to do your responsibility in this world. All the 360-degree responsibility that you have come. And that is what is a real life. Face that challenge. But knowing, holding to Krishna. Live that life. That is the life that our scriptures teaches us, right? And that is, and when you are realized souls, then remember our first class we talked about the selfless leader. All those leaders, they are called Raj Rishis. They are the selfless leader. They don't work for themselves. They work for the welfare of the society. They work for everyone else but for themselves, right? And when you do that, you are very calm because nothing is mine. Yeah. So let's look at the other one. So such a leader what those who are clarity through devotional service, such a leader does work as worship and as an offering to Krishna. Such leaders will take decisions focused on dharma for the welfare of people. They will not look what is for me. Like, remember how we talked about he gave his flesh. Yeah, he killed his own son, right? Why? Because they were beyond, they had that vision beyond themselves. They were there existing for dharma, they were existing for welfare of people. Yeah, and they will always remain calm, decisive, compassionate, and dharmic at all times, right? And then we go to the next one. So we took Arjuna in the Kurukshetra war, yeah, and Yudhishthira after the war. After the war, Yudhishthira immediately went helping everyone else to establish themselves, right? So they are the great leaders. The question is, what destroys clarity? Why is it, this is how the thing, so now our next question will be, what destroys clarity? Why we don't have this clarity, and why we are not able to, why we are selfish, why we are not able to become like a selfless leaders? It is because of this. What happens? Please repeat after me. ध्यायतो विश्यान् पुंसः ध्यायतो विश्यान् ध्यायतो विश्यान् पुंसः संगस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधाभिजायते. Right? So dhyate, when we are contemplating Vishyan, when we are contemplating about any object, what happened? We got sang is attachment. We develop teshu pujayate. Upujayate is develop. We develop what? Teshu means with that we develop attachment, and from that attachment sangat sanjayate kama. With that attachment, what happens? We develop calm is lust, and from that calm, if we achieve it, we are happy. If we don't achieve it, krodha abhijayate. What happens? We get angry. So while contemplating the object of sense, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. And then what happens? क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिर्विभ्रमः स्मृतिर्भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति So what happens? Krodhat bhavati. Bhav means to happen. What happens? Sammoha. Because of krodha, we become illusioned. And when this delusion, when we become sammoha, when we become delusion, smriti, we become angry, our memory get lost. Smriti vibhrama, our memory get lost. And when our memory gets lost, what will happen? It actually nashed. What does it do, the nash? Our intelligence, buddhi nasho, our intelligence get lost. And when our intelligence gets nashed, what happens? We fall down. And this is a cycle all of us are stuck into. From anger, complete delusion arises. From delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. When intelligence is lost, we fall down. We fight with our counterpart, with our friends, relatives. And then what happens? We become angry. We speak a lot of bad words. Our relations get strained. What destroys clarity? Contemplation causes attachment, causes desire, causes anger, delusion, loss of memory, loss of intelligence, and then we fall down. This is a cycle that we all are stuck into. First thing is knowing about this cycle, and then then only we can actually come out of it, right? So this is the reason why the clarity gets destroyed. The question is then, if the clarity gets destroyed, then how to develop clarity? Or how we should develop the clarity? And then again, through surrender and guidance. We have to surrender and we have to surrender to the right authority from whom we can learn. And this is what Krishna says in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Please repeat after me. Tadvidhi pranipatena
Tadvidyati pranipapena
परिप्रश्नेन सेवया
परिप्रश्नेन सेवया
उपदेश्यति ते ज्ञानम्
उद्देश्यन्ते
उपदेशन्ति
ते ज्ञानं
ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः.
ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः.
So Krishna says to Arjuna in the 4th chapter that what we need to do, if we need to really get scripture knowledge, then we have to pranipate, we have to actually surrender, and with we have to surrender with humility, we have, and with service. Sevaya is with service. Pariprashten, we have to ask with humility, and what we have to ask? We have to ask the questions. We have to ask with humility and with surrender. We have to ask questions to our guru, and gurus, they know, but they will not tell you. It is not easy to get knowledge from the guru. They are those who are self-realized. They will normally keep vacho vegam. They will be quiet. They will not talk because they know how to control their tongue. That is the first quality they have. Vacho vegam. Vegam is the urge to speak. They will not speak much. They will be controlled. And only when they are faithful, when they know that this person really wants to get knowledge and is in the getting, wants to get knowledge in the right sense, then only they will open their mouth. So updeshyanti, they will tell what? They jnanam, they will tell you the knowledge, because jnanina tattva darshana, they are tattva, they know the tattva, they know the absolute truth. So they will only open their mouth when they know that you really want to learn, right? Yeah, so the first thing is clarity to surrender to guidance. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service to him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So humility is needed to learn. Clarity starts when ego ends. When you start questioning people with your, oh, I know, and then with that mode, when you start questioning, the people who have knowledge will normally not speak. They will keep quiet. Because it is your ego, they know it very clearly that it is your ego who is trying to challenge them to say, hey, I know more than you. So they will never speak. They will remain quiet. And if you really want to learn from them, first take out your ego. Just like Arjuna, he surrendered. He said, I don't know, I am in problem, I want your help. Krishna didn't speak. He just spoke 2 words in the first chapter. And the second chapter, he started opening his first cloak. He spoke, oh stupid, oh what are you doing? You are a jnani, you know the knowledge, but still you are repenting like this. Then the first cloak he speaks in this one. And then again Arjuna starts crying, I don't know this, I don't know that. Finally he surrenders to Krishna. And only when he surrenders with humility, agreeing that I don't know, then only Krishna speaks. So always remember, the person who has knowledge will actually not speak. They are actually quiet people. They will keep things inside. Yeah. So only through humility, and when you put your ego down, they will speak when they understand, right? Then is clarity through discipline of mind. We all know this. We have been reading this cloak since beginning. Please repeat after me. Clarity through this is discipline of mind. बंधुरात्मा आत्मनस्तस्य
आत्मानस्तस्य
येनात्मैवात्मनः जित. Okay, I'll break the word so you can speak it clearly. See, this is bandhur. We all know this bandhur. Can you see my cursor? Bandhur. Then ro ke pore jo a ka matra hai, that is a atmanastas. We have to speak till here. Bandhur atmanastas tasya
बन्धुरात्मनस्तस्य
tasya yenatmaiva. Yenat
Yenat
maiva atmanah jita. Right? So repeat after me. Jita. Right? Anatmanastu shatutve. Anatmanastu
Anatmanastu
shatutve. Varte tatmaiva shatruvat. Varte tatmaiva shatruvat. Right? So we'll repeat again. Bandhuratmatmanastasya.
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्य
येनात्मैवात्मना जिता.
येनात्मैवात्मनः
अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे
अनात्मनस्तुष्टुत्वे
वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. Right? So, for him who has conquered the mind is the best friend, and for those who has failed to do so, mind remains the greatest enemy. How to control the mind? By strengthening our intelligence. How to strengthen the intelligence? By, we know that, chanting, reading, hearing, as association, all these are the things by which we can strengthen our intelligence, right? And this is the story of Dhruv Maharaj, clarity through discipline of mind. So, anyone would like to tell the story of Dhruv Maharaj? So, Dhruv Maharaj, who was he? Who was the son of Uttanapat and Suniti. Uttanapat had two wives, Suniti and Suruchi. Now, Suruchi was the younger one, she was a favored wife, and Suniti was the elder one. Dhruv Maharaj was the son of Suniti. And what happened? Suruchi's son once went, when the king was on the throne, Suruchi's son went to king's lap, and he was sitting there and enjoying, and Suniti started feeling, and Dhruv came there, and Dhruv immediately ran and sat on the king's lap. And as soon as he sat on the king's lap, Suruchi actually pulled him down and said, "How dare you sit on the lap of king? You can only sit there when you are born from my womb. Because you are not my child, so you cannot sit there." Now Dhruv Maharaj became very angry. He went to his mother and said, "Why is it so that mother, she told me like that? Is he not my father? I want that." He says, "If you really want something, you have to just go and ask the Supreme Lord. Don't ask me. We are nothing. You please go and ask the Supreme Lord." So he asked. He was 5 years old. The child was 5 years old. He said, "Okay, where will I find him?" He says, "You will find him in the forest. Go to the forest, you'll find him." He was so angry, he said, "Fine. My mother, Suruchi mother did not let me sit on my father's throne. I will get a throne which is much, much bigger than my father's throne." So he angrily, at the age of 5, he went to forest. And he went to forest in search of Supreme Lord. In search of Supreme Lord, he went to forest, and when there he was searching in the forest, then there Vishnuji, seeing from up, he asked Narad Muni to go and approach Dhruv Maharaj. And when he went to Dhruv Maharaj, Narad Muni came and said, "What are you looking for?" He says, "I am looking for the Supreme Lord. I want a throne much, much bigger than my father." And he said, "Okay, you are so small. Why don't you go back? This is not the age to come to the forest in search of Supreme Lord. It is time for you to go and play in the palace." He says, "Listen, if you cannot help me, you go from here. I will not go unless I have met the Supreme Lord." And then when Narad Muni saw that he is not like he is determined to get the Supreme Lord, then he gave him the mantra. What mantra he gave to Dhruv Maharaj? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is the mantra which is normally spoken. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, this is the mantra Narad Muni gave to Dhruv Maharaj, and Dhruv Maharaj started practicing that. And he stayed in the forest. He was so determined to meet the Supreme Lord, nothing could stop him. He kept on praying, and finally Vishnuji had to come down. And when he came down, he asked him, he touched him, he said, "Okay, what do you want? What do you want?" He says, I had come here looking for a bigger throne, but now I've seen you, I don't want anything else. I was looking for glasses of pieces, but I've got diamond. I don't want anything else. But then what did Vishnuji did? Vishnuji actually created a much, much bigger planet for him. Even all of us know that there's a Dhruv Lok. We all see that star. We call it a pole star. Every day morning, evening, you can see the pole star, which is nothing but Dhruv Lok, right? So that is his tapasya. Through tapasya, we can actually get the clarity. That is discipline of mind, right? Tapasya is nothing but discipline. And if we really want to connect to anything, if we really want to achieve anything in our life, discipline is our basic thing that we need, right? Yeah, so this we read about the second thing, how we can get the clarity also through discipline and do tapasya like Dhruv Maharaj. The what do you call it? It is called one-pointed attention, right? Next is association. Association plays a very, very important role. On with whom we associate, yes, associate is very, very important. If we are in good company, we will become good. Especially we have to be very careful about the association of our kids. How, in which company they are doing, what they are doing. Give them the right association. Take them to temple. Teach them about our scriptures. Very important. At least once a week, temple, especially Sundays or whichever day, go to family, as a family, go to temple, visit temple, do some dan there, because they will only learn by, we can do a lot of preaching, but when we are not following, we are not walking the talk, they will not learn. So if you really want get them connected to God. The difference between the temple that we have, the big temples that we have, they are not just XYZ place. It is a powerhouse. We say I have deities in my home, but that's fine. Always remember the way our Hindu temples were made, the place where the deities are actually placed. We do a pran pratishtha, and the place where the pratishthas are done, that is the source of energy. So when we go there, we actually get that energy. We get the association of people who are good people, and try to look at for more. And if you have ISKCON around, please go there. That's something, a very, very nice place where you can really learn. They have Saturdays, Sundays, Bhagavatam class, Gita class. The teachers, the kids, they have a different, for kids they have different things. It's something nice, and living in that life is a beautiful life, right? So clarity through association, that is satsang. Then we know the story of Prahlad. Prahlad, what association he got? Prahlad was the son of Hiranyakashipu, who was the biggest demon. But then when her mother was pregnant, Kayadu, she was pregnant, and Prahlad was there. Actually, Narad Muni gave Kayadu, a place to stay in his ashram. And in that case, what happened? He actually, Prahlad was in the womb of his mother and stayed in the ashram and got all the siksha from Narad Muni. He got all the teachings from Narad Muni. And when he got that association from Narad Muni, he actually, he had the power to call Narasimha Dev. He had so much faith. His faith was so high that Bhagwan had to come down. And when his father asked, is he in this pillar? He said, yes, he's in this pillar. And he opened, and when Hiranyakashipu struck the pillar, Narasimha Dev came out. Isn't it? Yeah. So that is the power of association, right association. Similarly, if you are in the wrong association, I know all of you know what happens and how life is then. Then clarity through dharma over emotions. Bhishma Pitama is an example of, so we have to have a clarity of dharma, always checking what I am doing is right, is I am on the right path. It is always easy to trend to the wrong path, very, very easy. Yeah, start celebrating small wins over yourself. Start celebrating small wins. When it is important to celebrate. This is wrong, this behavior of mine is wrong, and when you didn't do it, give yourself a clap. Yeah, similarly to the child, so to the family, start celebrating small goodness that we actually get in our life. So always have a thing, are we doing what is dharmic or not, right? And then clarity through detachment. Detachment doesn't mean sannyasi and not doing that. Don't become mithyachari. Do your responsibility, like Janak's story. Yeah, and then with this I end today's class. Any questions you have?